Welcome to Life Factually. In this video, we are discussing homeownership concerning Gen Z and millennials. Homeownership used to be achievable, a cornerstone of adulthood. But for millennials and Gen Z, it's becoming a distant dream. Why are housing costs crushing entire generations? We're diving deep into the housing affordability crisis. We'll uncover the forces at play, and most importantly, we'll explore how we can fight back. This isn't just a story about houses, it's about dreams deferred, families never started, and a generation grappling with a future where owning a home feels impossible. The numbers paint a stark picture. Since the year 2000, home prices have skyrocketed, 150% increase. In that same time, wages barely budged, a measly 30%. This isn't a gap, it's a chasm, and it's swallowing the dreams of millions. Let's unpack this. This isn't just an American problem. It's a global crisis affecting millions of people worldwide. From the bustling streets of Tokyo to the quiet villages of Portugal, the impact is felt everywhere. The story is the same across continents and cultures. Housing costs are spiraling out of control, making it increasingly difficult for people to find affordable homes. Working families are being priced out of the market, struggling to make ends meet, and an entire generation, particularly millennials and Gen Z, is being left behind, unable to secure stable housing. What happened? How did we get here? The answers lie in a complex web of economic and social factors. It's a perfect storm of factors. Decades of wage stagnation have eroded purchasing power. The rise of remote work has also shifted housing demands, creating new pressures on the market, and a new breed of investor corporations gobbling up properties, treating housing like a commodity, not a human right. In the United States, massive corporations and investors are buying up homes at an alarming rate, exacerbating the crisis. They own a staggering 25% of all single-family homes in America, a figure that continues to grow. These companies are sitting on mountains of cash. They're outbidding families, driving up prices, and making it impossible for average people to compete, and turning communities into commodities, stripping them of their unique character and sense of belonging. These corporate landlords, they're not your typical landlords. They're not concerned about building communities or providing affordable housing. They're driven by profit, their bottom line. And that means squeezing every last dollar out of renters, out of families, out of you. They buy up properties, drive up rents, and often neglect the upkeep of their units. It's a new form of housing exploitation, and it's happening on a massive scale. Millions of people are trapped in this cycle, forced to choose between paying rent and putting food on the table. This isn't just an American issue, it's a global phenomenon. In cities like London, Berlin, and Toronto, investment firms are buying up huge swaths of housing, pricing out local residents, and transforming vibrant communities into sterile investment vehicles. The rise of remote work has added fuel to the fire. The pandemic forced companies to adapt, employees embraced working from home, and suddenly location took on a whole new meaning. People fled expensive cities, seeking affordability and a better quality of life. But this mass exodus had unintended consequences. Small towns and suburbs, once considered affordable, saw a surge in demand. Home prices skyrocketed, locals were priced out, and the dream of escaping the city became another casualty of the housing crisis. It's a classic case of supply and demand, but the human cost is real. Families uprooted, communities fractured, and the promise of remote work, the flexibility and freedom it offered, tarnished by the reality of an affordability crisis that knows no bounds. The global housing market is interconnected. What happens in one part of the world ripples out to others. When investors pour money into real estate in London, it drives up prices in Berlin. When remote workers flock to Lisbon, locals in Porto feel the squeeze. It's a complex web of factors, but at its core, it's about the fundamental right to housing. Everyone deserves a safe, affordable place to live. It's not a privilege, it's a necessity. And yet, for millions around the world, that right is under threat. We need to start treating housing as a human right, not a commodity. We need policies that prioritize people over profit. And we need to hold our leaders accountable for creating a system that works for everyone, not just the wealthy few. Because this isn't just about housing, it's about a system that's rigged against the many. A system that prioritizes short-term profits over long-term sustainability. A system that rewards speculation and greed. This system is broken, and it's time we fix it. We need to demand better from our leaders. We need to fight for policies that make housing more affordable. We need to challenge the status quo. We need to come together, raise our voices, and demand a future where everyone has a place to call home. A future where homeownership isn't a fading dream, but a tangible reality. For millennials, this housing crisis cuts deep. They were sold a dream. Work hard, get a good education, buy a home, and start a family. But the reality is far different. They entered adulthood during a recession. Faced with stagnant wages and crippling student loan debt, the dream of homeownership, it slipped further and further away. Many millennials delayed major life milestones. marriage, kids, all because they were trapped in a cycle of rent payments, struggling to save for a down payment that seemed perpetually out of reach. They're called the boomerang generation, forced to move back in with their parents, working remotely from their childhood bedrooms, delaying their dreams because the system is stacked against them. Let's talk about student debt. Millennials graduated into a job market that demanded expensive degrees but offered little in return. They're drowning in student loan debt, an average of $40,000 per borrower. That's a mortgage payment before they even buy a house. This debt is a millstone around their necks, preventing them from saving for a down payment, from qualifying for a mortgage, from building a future. They're stuck in a cycle of debt and rent payments, their dreams deferred, their futures uncertain. This is the millennial reality. Working multiple jobs, delaying marriage and family, just to make ends meet. The promise of homeownership, the cornerstone of the American dream, it's fading away, replaced by a crushing sense of financial anxiety. And then there's Gen Z, born into a world of economic uncertainty, witnessing the struggle. For them, the dream of homeownership seems even more distant. Many believe they'll be forever renters, priced out of the market before they even start. They're tech-savvy, entrepreneurial, but they're also burdened by climate change, social injustice, and a housing market that feels rigged against them. A recent survey found that 60% of Gen Z fear they'll never own a home. Think about that. Resigned to a life of renting, never experiencing the stability and security of homeownership, never building equity, never putting down roots. It's a bleak outlook. This is about more than bricks and mortar. It's about a crisis of hope, a fundamental shift in how we view homeownership. Is it a right? Or is it a luxury reserved for the wealthy few? These are the questions we need to be asking. We need to challenge the status quo, demand better from our leaders, and fight for a future where everyone has access to safe, affordable housing. Because housing is a human right, not a privilege. And it's time we start acting like it. The picture we've painted so far might seem bleak, but surrendering to despair is not an option. We need action. And thankfully, amidst the crisis, glimmers of hope are emerging. Innovative solutions, policy wins, communities coming together to reclaim their right to housing. From the halls of government to grassroots movements, people are fighting back against the housing affordability crisis. They're demanding change, and they're creating solutions that put people before profit. Let's explore these inspiring initiatives. This isn't about utopian ideals. It's about real-world solutions being implemented right now. From Vancouver's vacant home tax to Berlin's rent control measures, cities around the world are proving that affordable housing is possible. Policy changes are crucial in this fight. We need governments to step up and prioritize affordable housing. One example, Vancouver's empty homes tax. It targets vacant properties owned by investors, encouraging them to rent out those units or face a hefty tax. The result? Thousands of homes return to the rental market. Another successful model? Berlin's rent control measures. By capping rent increases, the city has protected tenants from exorbitant rent hikes, ensuring that housing remains affordable for long-term residents. These are just two examples of policy solutions that work. We need to push for similar measures in cities around the world. Demand that our elected officials prioritize affordable housing, not the profits of corporate landlords. Beyond policy, communities are taking matters into their own hands. Cooperative housing projects are gaining momentum. Residents collectively own and manage their housing, ensuring affordability and democratic decision-making. Tiny homes offer another innovative solution. These compact, eco-friendly dwellings provide an affordable alternative to traditional housing. They challenge the notion that bigger is always better, promoting sustainable living and community building. And let's not forget the power of multi-generational living. In many cultures, it's the norm. Families living together, sharing expenses, and supporting each other. It's a time-tested model that can provide stability and affordability in these uncertain times. Financial strategies. Navigating the housing market. While systemic change is crucial, there are also individual strategies to navigate this challenging market. Side hustles, once a way to earn extra cash, are becoming essential for saving for a down payment. The gig economy, for all its flaws, offers opportunities to boost income. Rent-to-own programs offer another pathway to homeownership. These agreements allow renters to gradually build equity towards owning the property, making homeownership more accessible for those who can't afford a traditional down payment. Financial literacy is more important than ever. Understanding mortgages, interest rates, and debt management is crucial for navigating the complexities of the housing market. Seek out resources, workshops, and financial advisors who can empower you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. It's time to fight back. The housing affordability crisis is a global challenge, but it's not insurmountable. From policy changes to community-driven solutions, there are pathways to a more equitable future, but it requires action from all of us. We need to challenge the status quo, demand more from our elected officials, support organizations fighting for housing justice, and most importantly, believe that change is possible. The future of housing depends on us. Let's raise our voices, demand change, and build a world where everyone has a place to call home. Because housing is a right, not a luxury. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay hopeful. Reclaiming our future. This isn't just about houses, it's about reclaiming our future, about taking back control of our lives and our communities. Millennials and Gen Z, you deserve a world where homeownership isn't a pipe dream but a tangible goal. A world where your hard work and dedication can lead to a secure and stable home. Don't let anyone tell you that your dreams are too big, that settling is the only option. Your aspirations are valid, and your determination is powerful. We need your energy, your ideas, your refusal to accept the status quo. Your innovative spirit is the key to unlocking new possibilities. The fight for affordable housing is a fight for a fairer, more just world. It's about ensuring that everyone, regardless of their background, has a place to call home. It's a fight for the soul of our communities, for the well-being of our families, for the aspirations of generations to come. It's about creating a legacy of equity and opportunity. It's a fight we cannot afford to lose. The stakes are too high and the impact too profound. Remember, you're not alone in this. Across the globe, people are rising up, demanding change and building innovative solutions. In many countries, people want to see improvements in the housing system. From urban centers to rural communities, the movement is growing. From community land trusts to rent-to-own cooperatives, new models of housing are emerging that prioritize people over profit. The seeds of a more equitable housing system are being sown. These initiatives are the foundation of a future where housing is a right, not a privilege. Let's cultivate these seeds, nurture their growth, and watch them blossom into a future where everyone has a place to call home. Together, we can build a world where housing is accessible, affordable, and sustainable for all. A call to action. This is a call to action. Educate yourself about the housing crisis in your community. Understand the root causes and the impact it has on people's lives. Knowledge is the first step towards meaningful change. Support organizations fighting for housing justice. These groups are on the front lines advocating for fair policies and providing essential services to those in need. Contact your elected officials and demand policies that prioritize people over profit. Your voice can influence decisions that affect the lives of many. Start conversations with your friends, family, and neighbors. Share your story. Use your voice to raise awareness and inspire others to take action. Vote for candidates who champion affordable housing. Your vote is a powerful tool for change. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the collective momentum for change. Small steps can lead to big impacts. The housing crisis is a complex issue, but it's not insurmountable. With determination and collective effort, we can address and overcome these challenges. With sustained effort, collective action, and unwavering hope, we can create a world where housing is a right, not a privilege for all. Together, we can make a difference. Subscribe to Life Factually for more insightful content on the issues that matter. Stay informed and engaged. Share this video with your friends and family.